Most meaningful for me personally here is that my grandfather, John Brzee, was a 5-term Champaign County State's Attorney. And it was during the late 40s, all of the 50s, and parts of the 60s.
Oh, wow.
That he was the Champaign County State's Attorney. And I am his proud firstborn of his firstborn granddaughter. And when I got the wonderful news about the incredible work being done here by this department for crime victims' rights in Illinois, I just got all goosepimply about it. So it's very, very, very meaningful to me on a personal level. And in fact, I'm gonna go over to Hope Cemetery after this and visit my grandfather. So, which is really wonderful. So, just briefly about me and Marsy's Law. My sister, her husband, and their baby were murdered in suburban Chicago in 1990. It was the Winnetka murders. David Biro was the killer. He's actually coming up for resentencing in November. It'll be all over the news again. And it was, I don't have to tell anybody in this room how horrible and life-changing that event was. And in fact, it caused me to get involved in a lot of victim issues, in which work I got to meet my husband, Bill Jenkins, whose son was murdered. And he's the author of this very prominent national book in victim work, What to Do in the Police Slave, which each one of you gets a copy of. It's changed my life. It's changed everything about my life. But what really drove me to this work in victims' rights and to understand what crime victims go through when they intersect with the criminal justice system is that when we were, the murder was in 1990, the trial was in 1992. We had constitutional victims' rights in those days, but they were not enforceable language. They were weak rights. And so on the day of when we went through all of the horrible who did it and why, and then finally the arrest, and then waiting for the trial, and finally the day of the trial comes, and then finally the trial's over, and we finally come to the sentencing part where we knew we had a right to make a victim's rights statement. We had them all drafted, ready to go. On the morning of the sentencing, I got a phone call from the state's attorney's office in Cook County saying, you are, don't come to court. We are not gonna have time. The court is too busy. No time today to do anything with the victims. None of you all can come. We were actually told not to even be there physically. And so that was this huge, huge letdown and just, trauma upon trauma. And we're like, what? And I am a 30-year high school history teacher, teach the Constitution. I actually taught Illinois Constitution to school students. I knew we had it right in there. I just didn't understand legally that the language was weak and unenforceable. So I started making some phone calls, and I found out that Attorney General Lisa Madigan was actually already working on a project to amend the Illinois Constitution and make that language stronger. And it was a 6-year process. It didn't happen overnight in Springfield, but I teamed up as director of Marsy's Law for Illinois. I teamed up with Lisa Madigan's office, the Illinois Coalition Against Sexual Assault, and the Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and we led a big, long campaign, multi-million-dollar campaign, to amend the Illinois Constitution. And as of November 4th, 2014, the good citizens of Illinois approved the strong, enforceable victims' rights of Article 1, Section 8.1 of the Illinois Constitution that guarantees the rights that I'm now finally, on November 8th, going to be able to go to the Cook County Court and make a victim impact statement. My parents have both passed, but I'm going to be able to do it finally. And it just is very meaningful. It's especially meaningful to me because I'm standing in the office and in the presence of my grandfather's successor. So this is all very, very special to me, and I'm very, very grateful to all of you for your work. And so I want to let you all say a little bit about it, but what drew me to give this award to your office and to all of the victim advocates in this office is your reputation for just on-the-spot perfection. Everybody gets it every time. There's no complaints, no hassles. I tend to only hear about the problems, and there are no problems here. Everybody's getting it done. So very, very well. I'm sure you guys have, but
Hear that, everyone? There's no problem.
none that reached my door. So I still get to do this work. I still get to travel the state, and as a murder victim's family member who knows the importance of a victim advocate, my victim advocate in Cook County is Jill Thornton, and she is one of the best things that ever happened to my life. So thank you guys for what you do. It's not easy. It's not easy work. So you all are champions of victims' rights. Let me tell you a brief bit about Marcy's Law, and then I will give you your awards. So Marcy's Law is actually born in California. Marcy Nicholas was a murder victim in California. Her brother, Dr. Henry Nicholas, formed the organization, and he had the funding to do so because, hold up your cell phones, ladies and gentlemen, he invented the chip that makes these work. So he has some money. Yeah. And he was a PhD candidate at UC Irvine in California when his sister was murdered by a ex-boyfriend. And he was horrified at the fact that the killer was immediately released upon, they were literally at her funeral, put her in the grave, came back to their homes to go to have a family dinner at the home after the funeral, and stopped in a grocery store to pick up some things for the dinner, and in the store was the killer already released on bail, no notice to the victim's family, in the state of California. And he'd already threatened them. So this is when Dr. Nicholas called up the legal authorities and the Attorney General and said, how come this guy is out without any notice to us? He's a threat to us too. And they in fact said, well, we are under no obligation under California law to notify the release of the accused on bail to the victim. And so he said, well, I'm gonna change that. And he put his money to it, and in 2008, Marcy's Law became the first enforceable language put into a constitution in California. The second state to do it was Illinois. Because I got to meet him at a NOVA conference. Do you guys go to the NOVA conference, the National Organization of Victim Assistance? Sometimes
we should.
Yeah, you should, absolutely. There's a national organization of what these folks do. It's NOVA, and National Organization of Victim Assistance, and they have a conference every year. And in fact, that's how I met my husband. I met him at the NOVA conference. So, because he was speaking about his book. So it's, yes, you're being a good girl, Steph. You're being a good girl. Thank you guys so much for letting me do that. I feel bad. I didn't want to lock her in the car. So, in any case, now we're at about 18 states nationwide, and about 1/3 of the American population now lives under enforceable victims' rights that give them a right not only to be heard and to be kept safe and to seek restitution and to to be present at all proceedings where the offender is and so on. It also guarantees that they are enforceable, and that is the most amazing thing. And in Illinois, it's been a game changer. It really has been, I think. So thank you all for the work that you do. Thank you for being there for us victims when we are going through absolute hell, and I'm sorry about that. Let me turn this off. I should have turned off my cell phone. It's so awful. Come on, there we go. And there we go.
Don't beat yourself up. It happens to
So, I have amazing women. Julia, how do you pronounce your last name? the state's attorney for Champaign County. We are very, very grateful for the leadership that you have shown to make victims' rights a priority in Champaign County. Thank you for that. And which one is Lisette? You are the senior victim advocate. Yes. And Jessica Cox, and Kimberly, and Chantel. Thank you all for what you do. So, here is, like, we get little matching Marcy's mom badges.
Thank you.
Put those on if you want, little lapel. And here are your awards, and I don't know if there's somebody that can somebody snap pictures for me, and as I present each one, I'd like to. Yeah, got it. So, or you, my dear, thank you for all that you do for victims so much. Thank you. Thank you for all you do for crime victims in Illinois. Chantal, thank you so much for all you do for us.
Thank you.
We appreciate you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for your leadership. Thank you so much for all you do. Okay, and then everybody gets a pen. Okay,
No, me too.
So-
my turn?
please.
Okay, first of all, Jennifer, thank you so much for honoring us with this recognition and for sharing your story. You and I had a lovely conversation the other night, and I felt so connected with you and your grandfather.
Very
What
cool.
An absolute honor to receive this recognition from you and to learn about your family and your history here. In this room, we all have had very difficult conversations with families who were in crisis and in trauma, going through a criminal justice process, the system that they didn't understand the words for, that they absolutely did not anticipate, didn't want to be a part of, and they have been difficult conversations, painful conversations, many tears shed here, and anger. I mean, when you say there's no issues, there are always issues, because as I have told many victims' families, sometimes this building is not a place where you can find peace and justice, because we have to follow the law, and sometimes the law doesn't allow us to do things people might want us to do. But the law definitely does require us and the courts to make sure that victims' voices are heard. Maybe not at the beginning, but definitely at the end. And I and many of the attorneys in my office and my advocates have had the honor of sitting with people when they presented their victim statements to the court, when they were working on their victim statements with their assistants. It is therapeutic for them. It is life-changing. It gives them closure. It gives them a voice, and it is what I always say is the ultimate gift that they can give for their loved one who cannot return that favor to speak for them in court. So the recognition for that, to me, is just so absolutely honoring. I have become friends with many of the victims' families. I know we all have. We continue to have contact with them. They have become very important people in our lives, and we very much are honored by having the opportunity to work with them and help them through this process. These ladies, and really everyone, thank you all so much for coming here, not just for the cake.
Thanks,
But these ladies are the front line. I always, when I'm speaking about my staff, talk about my advocates and how they are really working directly with people in trauma and helping the attorneys, helping everyone, helping those individual victims and their families, and receiving a lot of the stress and the trauma that these cases absolutely incur. but also really everyone in this room, from the people who are answering the phone to the support staff, to the attorneys, to the investigators. Everyone in this room works directly with victims of crime and their families.
Thank you
And
to all of you.
they are all amazing, every single one of them. So we share these honors with you all, and we appreciate all the work that every one of you does every day. So I have challenge coins.
Yay.
Thank you, Dave. And first, I want to give one to you.
Oh my gosh, that means so much to me. And I'll take this to my grandfather's grave today.
Oh my
Share it
gosh.
with him. Yeah,
That is so incredibly
Yeah, I
meaningful to me.
pretty amazing.
And then also for all of you, which I probably should have given you many, many, many times. But these are for you all.
Thank you so much.
And the back of it is Lady Justice, and it says, the duty of a prosecutor is to seek justice, which is what we do every day here in the Champaign County State's Attorney's Office. And I am so honored to be the state's attorney for our community and to work with every single one of you every day. So,
I
thank
believe you are also the first woman to hold this
I
office.
am, yes, and I have
My father.
and I have eclipsed your grandfather's very long term, which is a great honor as well.
That is amazing, yeah, no, he was like, 5 terms, I think.
Yeah,
That's
that's
amazing.
fantastic.
My parents met at the U of I. They were both students there, and my dad went to U of I Law School, but he went into corporate law. So,
Well,
he wanted to make money, so.
yeah, easier go of it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Does anyone, media,
Have any
friends,
questions?
have any questions, or?
Can somebody get a group photo that I can get copies of later too, please? I'd love that.